everybody, Brandon Place here, bringing back a brand new video. Today, guys, in this video, I'm going to be showing you the best Ancient Gears deck you can ever see. This thing can play through multiple negates and just break down boards easily. And surprisingly, it's Ancient Gears, which is no longer meta, but it did have its shine for a bit. So let's go straight into it. So first up, we have two Ancient Gear Reactor Dragons. So this thing is spell disruption, powerhouse, and just the monster you want on the field normally. Then you have one Ancient Gear Golem. I only run one of these because you only usually use it for either Ancient Gear Fusion or another summon if you run out of Ancient Gear Reactor Dragons. But you can easily switch this one out for another Reactor Dragon. Now we have Ancient Gear Ultimate Pound. Now you actually need this because if you get Ancient Gear Ultimate Pound and Ancient Gear Fusion in the same hand, then you can use cards from the deck to bring out your big boys here. Then we run the normal Kaijus, the Gameciel, Radiant, and yeah. These are just cards that help destroy the boards, like boom, 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 like that. We run 3 Ancient Gear Wyverns. This is to set your hand up if you've got a dead one, so it's very rare that you get a dead hand. Now we have 2 Ancient Gear Frames. This is very similar to Ancient Gear Wyvern, but sometimes can be better in specific circumstances. In a replay that I will show you in a minute, this card helped save the entire game, because if I didn't draw this, then the game would have been over. Because essentially, if this is the only card in my hand that I can summon, and I have Ancient Gear Golem or any one of these, and I discard it, even if it gets negated, and I draw Monster Reborn with it, I can bring back one of these powerhouses. And usually it takes them a couple of turns to beat that. So that's why we run 2, possibly 3. I'm not gonna, if you run 3, that's fine. Then we run Ancient Gear Box to get this Ancient Gear Frame, because essentially we get Ancient Gear Wyvern, Ancient Gear Box, Ancient Gear Frame, and that's usually what you do. Then we have 3 Ancient Gear Hunting Hounds. This is just another name for a fusion, and when it's summoned it deals 600, so it's like a little trickster kind of effect, you know, summon, inflict, then you spin it off something else. Then we run 2 Pot of Desires. This is to get dead hands out of the way. And usually getting cards out of the deck is sometimes helpful, but if you lose all of these cards, then the game's over if you lose all 4 of those. Then we run 2 Foolish Barrel of Goods. You can use this on Ancient Gear Catapult and it'll be good. You can use this on Ancient Gear Fortress and it'll be good. Usually you'd use it on Ancient Gear Fortress because then you can Foolish Burial, Ancient Gear Fortress, send that to the graveyard because it's been sent to the graveyard by an effect. You can special summon out one of your big boys, and that's very helpful. Then we run 2 Power Bond. This actually helped me in the second replay that I will show you in a minute, and it won me the game. Then we have 3 Ancient Gear Catapults. This just starts the plays going. If you don't see this in your opening hand, it's not a complete loss, but you want to see this as soon as possible, especially with Ancient Gear Fortress. Now we run 2 Ancient Gear Fusions, because this is essentially the card that brings out these cards and just wipes things out. We run 2 Terraformings, even though Gear Town is not all too good in your hand. You either want it on the field or in your graveyard. Mostly on the field because you can also use it for Catapult to send it to the graveyard and bring out 2 of these guys. But it's fine being on the field. I wouldn't ever want it in my hand though. Then we again have 1 Monster Reborn, because if you get it with Ancient Gear Frame, then you chain it up with all this stuff. It's really good. Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. Now this card is a bit outdated in this deck, but does still very much work with all 3 of those. Now we have 1 Limiter Removal, and it's really good, especially if you Power Bond Chaos Ancient Gear Giants and then Limiter Removal. That is like 18,000 attack points on the field, and usually that's enough to wipe your opponent out in one attack. It's also unaffected by spell and trap cards, so that'll destroy. Now I run 3 Ancient Gear Fortresses, because if you catapult this into the graveyard, you can summon 2 of these. Ancient Gear Town. Sorry about that, guys, but we're back. Right, so next up we have three. I keep on calling it Ancient Gear Town. It's just called Gear Town. So this is either on the field or in the graveyard, essentially. It brings out more of these guys, and yeah, it's really cool. Then we just have the standard meta cards, evenly matched, just to clear out some field. Now onto the extra deck. We run 2 Chaos Ancient Gear Giants because it's just a beast and can destroy very easily. Then we have 1 Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem. This thing is almost as powerful as an Ancient Gear Giant, but falling a bit behind, but still essentially the same thing, but with a little less cost, but definitely needing an Ancient Gear Golem. Ancient Gear Mega Tundra Golem. This card is less cost, less power though, but it's still pretty cool, you know. And it's great if you use Ultimate Pound as a material. We run 2 howitzers because it's essentially the burn damage that you just, if you have 2 wyverns on the field or 2 hunting hounds on the field, and you can't be bothered to keep them on the field, just go into a howitzer and burn. Then we run Utopia Lightning, Utopia Prime, and Utopia. These cards are just for these level 4s that we don't usually use, so it's there. Then we also have Gorgon, the Antiluminescent Knight. This card negates stuff, it's just powerful, and it's great. Then I have 1 Tornado Dragon for spell destruction, 1 Castel for monster destruction. So these XYZs are just to get rid of wyverns, ancient gear frames, and gearboxes. Nothing really, anything else. Then I have Ningirsu, the Wild Child's Warrior. I've actually never used this in a duel, but I imagine if you get it out, then you can go into more of these plays. Kill Fort Genius. It's also it's a machine. It's also extra link zones to help with these guys. So yeah, it's helpful. Then I have land for yeah, these also give more link zones to these monsters, so you can bring more of them out. Yeah, so this has a lot of recycling power. You can go through players, you can burn multiple gates, and just play through and destroy. So yeah, this is the best internet, best ancient gear deck you can find on the internet. It can also be an OTK. So let's get straight into some replays.